Osborne and Naheem McLeod both out for the season. One piece of good news, though, Jordan, they get Anthony Polite back. He'll be starting. He's missed a month.
Yeah, he's missed the last 7 games, but he is a leader for this group, so there's confidence coming in that you've got one of your guys back. However, it's a Florida State team that has no double-figure scorers in the lineup. They've grown accustomed to playing without guys. This is nothing new. Coach Ham, this is a culture opportunity for a program that knows only winning.
Polite corrals the opening tip. He's got a foam protector on that right hand. That's his non-shooting hand. Had surgery for a fractured wrist. Florida State, yes, that is Florida State in the turquoise N7 Nike uniforms. It's to honor Native American heritage. Here is Polite, and missing his first shot after not playing in a month.
And you could tell Polite still managing that right cast, soft cast, as he almost struggled to maintain the basketball going downhill through traffic.
He had to get approval from the refs in order to wear that. They said, okay, Blake Wesley, the 3, no good. As you saw the starting lineups for Notre Dame, Wesley, if not for Paolo Banchero, he'd be the ACC Freshman of the Year. Wyatt Wilkes, the 3 from the outside.
And you got to understand scouting report. It's a catch-and-shoot guy. Wyatt Wilkes, the percentages may not be where he wants them to, but if he gets his feet set, dangerous.
Paul Atkinson, Jordan, he's come along. 4 double-doubles in the month of February. We've seen him be a force in the middle for the Irish.
Out of basketball for a year, the Ivy League setup was not used to the bodies he's seen in this conference. So early on, there was an adjustment period. Coach Ryan Humphrey, the assistant for Notre Dame, got him to play with force. Starts on the backboard, leads to productive offense with the big fella.
Wesley with a nice Kyle Hamilton impression on the defensive end. Turns it over on the offensive end. In traffic, RayQuan Evans. We saw him go for 28 in the win against Clemson a few weeks back. Again, without Mills, without Cleveland, without Osborne, he's going to have to play big tonight.
Evans is the most important piece in this contest for Florida State. He scored those 28 versus Clemson, the best game he's had in a Florida State uniform. They get the win. He's going to have to be a guy that hunts his. It's not what he was brought onto this roster to do, but given the attrition, it's the place he sees himself in. He has to be in attack mode. He's not a catch-and-shoot guy, although he's capable there, but he needs to attack, challenge Hub and Wesley to keep him in front.
You saw our hoop scoop, Evans, part Native American, member of the Crow tribe in Montana. And there's Atkinson with the follow. And oh no, another player down. That is Evans down for Florida State. Remember, he injured his knee earlier this year against Clemson. Missed a game against Duke. No, that's Tanor Ngom, the big 7-footer, excuse me. And Leonard Hamilton, he was talking to us today, and he said it's been one of those seasons. You coach long enough, you'll have one of those seasons where it seems like everybody's getting hurt, and that's been the story for Florida State. They've always had depth, especially these last 6-7 years under Leonard Hamilton. Their depth is starting. When your depth is starting, you don't have depth anymore.
It's incredible. I mean, you'll have seasons like this, maybe a niche, but not one where your entire starting 5 is out to injury. And for this, you can only laugh, which is what Coach Hamilton does. Just can't believe the hand he's dealt this season.
John Butler, the 3. Look at their 2 games against Duke as Prentice Hub knifes through the defense. The 5 starters in the first game against Duke when Florida State won in overtime, none of those 5 played in the second meeting.
That's unheard of. I mean, there's one thing, and coaches will never make excuses, although some will, about injuries, is Evans really getting it going early here. The Florida State squad having some clean looks, and they're knocking them down. I think it's overblown how inefficient the offense is. Look, they don't have a lot of shot makers. They don't have a lot of playmakers, guys who can create theirs, but they got guys who can convert. And right now, Notre Dame's playing on their heels, giving these guys whatever they want. Florida State converted.
That's going to be a matchup advantage all night for Atkinson.
See Dane Goodwin getting out on Wilkes, understanding the assignment on that possession after getting burned once early.
It's a Notre Dame team much better defensively, maybe the best defensive team that Mike Bray's had. Shot clock in single digits. Butler again, his second 3. Wesley attack mode, the follow, and the putback, +1.
About the athleticism of Blake Wesley on full display. Going 100 miles per hour at the rim. He's aggressive when he's seeking that contact. There was some, but the ability to collect and then explode back into contact once again. I don't think Butler was expecting that. Wesley was.
We've talked about this a lot, Jordan. We've had Notre Dame a few times. Notre Dame under Mike Brey has had a lot of success, maybe not the tournament success some fans want. They did have that Elite 8 run in 2016, but they have never had a singular talent like Blake Wesley.
Never had a guy go with the potential to be a lottery pick at that spot. It speaks to the ability he has. And Coach Brey, in talking with him, his Florida State pays down another triple.
Yeah, with John Butler again.
He said we knew Blake Wesley was good, but with COVID, we couldn't be around him even though he was in our backyard as much as we would have liked. When he got on campus with our guys, we said, oh, we've got a superstar on our hands, and he's been absolutely that this season.
Florida State's got one too in Butler. He's going to have to put on weight. Goodwin. Wesley with the tip in. John Butler, a freshman who's got the 3-3, 7'1", Greenville, South Carolina. Top 60 recruit. He's got to add weight. When he does, though, he's a force to be reckoned with. He is a perimeter player. He's not your typical 7'1" big, and we've seen that early. The Butler has done it so far. 3 for 3 from the field, all from beyond the arc. He's got 9 of Florida State's 17.
Florida State facing attrition with injury all season long. They're not expected to provide much, but when John Butler comes out looking like Steph Curry from 3, the 7-footer gooda, he's getting his feet set. He's capable there, shooting 37%. How about 100% from beyond the arc today? Even some of those shots being contested, but if it feels good, big fella, do it again. 3 of 3 there. Look, he's going to have to develop, Anish, a game with his back to the basket, and that comes with the weight, getting to work in the weight room. But if this guy, with his offensive skill set, the ability to shoot from the outside, when he can be dynamic inside out, this guy John Butler is going to be special.
ACC opponents better get their licks in on Florida State because, again, they've got young talent like Butler and Worley and Cleveland, who's out today, that are going to be good players in this league, maybe great players in this league, and they're getting real-time reps in big games that matter, and that will pay off down the road.
And let's not get it confused when people say there's a bullseye on a Duke, a North Carolina, and when North Carolina was down, people feasted on that. It's very similar with Florida State, given the success they've had in these last 5 to 6 years, where a down Florida State team, other teams are looking for vengeance for what Florida State had done to them in years prior.
Harrison Prieto, his first 2, he had a career-high 14 in the win Saturday at Virginia. Goodwin, blocked from behind.
And again, Prieto, one of those guys seldom used in his career, but given the circumstance they're in, he's gained some confidence because he's had some minutes. 14-6 versus Virginia in that big-time win, and it's a guy who feels like with the ball in his hands, I'm fully capable and confident, so I'm not looking over my shoulder.
A 6th-year senior who scored more points in the last month than his first 5 years combined as Dane Goodwin slips in. I'm tired of calling Dane Goodwin underrated. He has had a very efficient season. Good enough, in my opinion, Jordan, to be first-team all-conference.
Absolutely. I mean, he's been the difference because he's brought it consistently every time he stepped on the floor. He doesn't take outside of what the offense or defense, what the offense calls for and what the defense gives him or allows him. He takes good ones. He shares it when he needs to. He pushes and understands gears. Just a cerebral performer.
That time Goodwin could not finish. Last touch, Ryan. Florida State 7 of 11 from the field, 5 of 7 from 3.
But now look, when you watch Dane Goodwin in a sequence like that, we're celebrating him. He attacks baseline in transition. The bunny becomes a bear. But you don't see emotion from him. He's not sunken. He's not sullen walking back to defend. It's the same emotion as if he'd hit a game winner. And that's what you want out of some of your leaders. They're not going to get frenzied. This is a bad start for the Irish on the road, but you're not going to read into the emotions or body language of a guy like Dane Goodwin. I like that.
Worley's entry pass picked off by Ryan. Averaging more than a steal a game since entering the starting lineup.
And this is where the Irish really got to attack. Get Ngom out there and some ball screens, some rotations, and see how he can hang. This is an Irish team that needs to go 5 out. Difficult one there from the lucky lefty hub, but they should really be exploring spacing. See what kind of lateral movement you can get from Ngom and see what kind of matchups you can exploit.
Back iron for Ngom, who has 2 career threes. They've both come in the last 3 games.
He's watching his counterpart Butler do it. He's like, hey, I'm going to try. I'm a 7-footer. He seems to be doing it with ease.
Rebounded to Trey Wirtz off the bench for Notre Dame. Legacies in there as well.
Now this is where Legacies in the ball screen. See how Ngom reads and reacts. Now you've got a matchup you want for Wirtz.
Ngom's good enough to guard the perimeter. We've seen that. Here's Hub. Legacies turned it over. Miscommunication. Florida State, they're still going to run. Worley, the freshman, and the putback by Polite. Jordan, Florida State may be depleted. Injuries may have piled up. They're still long and they're still athletic.
And they still hunt turnovers. That one almost unforced, but this is a Florida State squad that forces 15 of them to their opposition and running the floor. One of those leaders, Anthony Polite, not giving up on the play, so the missed layup allows him to punctuate it with the putback. Look, they're not the best defensive squad. It's certainly not what Coach Ham is accustomed to. It's because of the injuries and the lack of wholesale line changes to keep that energy at a premium. But it's still a group, like you said, with length and athleticism that does turn the opponent over. So that opportunity will present itself. However, the Irish, one of the best in the country, taking care of the basketball. Not in that sequence, though, clearly.
Evans through the contact. Here comes Wesley, accelerating, and the body control in midair. Cameron Fletcher, the Kentucky transfer, 21 in turquoise. Well, that is Florida State tonight. They've brought those out a few times over the last 6-7 years. And we get a foul on Hub. Florida State down Matthew Cleveland tonight. Anthony Polite back. Knowles shooting 50% from the field.
With 4 strips of crispy bacon and rich melty cheese and 2 juicy charbroiled.
Mike Krzyzewski with one more game to coach at Cameron Indoor. You probably heard this weekend against North Carolina. More wins than all the other Duke coaches combined. The only Duke coach to win a national title. He's got one for every finger. With what he's done in this era, it's not a stretch. I know John Wooden had the great career. It's not a stretch to say Mike Krzyzewski is the greatest college basketball coach of all time, because he's done it as this game has evolved and changed at such a rapid pace in his time at Duke.
And his willingness to change with the game and evolve and not stand with, well, this is how I've always done it. I'm not going to change with the times. The ability for him to change with the times kept him at that high standard. And then, of course, his involvement with USA Basketball, that was a differentiator where to now, and he's just not even close, but he's the greatest college basketball coach of all time.
How about the block by Ngom coming over the back on Atkinson? He checked in before we went to break after going down underneath the basket earlier.
And this is just, when you take that pause to collect, that was just enough time for Ngom with that wingspan to collect and reject.
7'6" wingspan. That's the wingspan of an Andean condor.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going for.
I thought you were going to say wandering albatross, but Similar sentiment.
You know, I will say this while we're talking about Hall of Fame coaches, and look, there's a bias here. Clearly, he's my guy, Coach Digger Phelps, a legend. But another guy who's won over 400 games, right, in his career. He's beat seven times, beaten number ones. I think Digger Phelps is a guy that needs to be in the Hall of Fame, too. I'm just going to throw it out there while we're covering a Notre Dame, Florida State game. A guy who's achieved a lot. Look, what Coach K is to Duke, Mike Bray, and Digger Phelps. And if there's no Digger Phelps, there's no Mike Bray at Notre Dame. Digger was Notre Dame basketball. Built the stature of the guy, put him in a Hall of Fame as well. While we're having a conversation, just want to keep it relative to the crowd as well.
Digger has your Venmo, right?
It's my guy. Talk to him every Tuesday. Says a prayer for me and a laundry list of others because he's got the biggest heart in the world. Just a good man. Salter you.
Fletcher gets it to go. Cameron Fletcher playing the best ball of his collegiate career. Scored at double figures in 5 of the last 6. There's Wesley.
From Florida State, I'm continuing to just attack. Trying to run when we can. I know our roster's not as full as it's been, but there's success there in chasing some early stuff. You're the more athletic team, and you got to try and find your advantages, and one of them is trying to find sequences to pursue early off.
How about John Butler, 11 points in the first half, just 3 off a career high. Atkinson, nice cut by Ryan.
Notre Dame is going to make you respect their offense. You have to be disciplined. You have to have eye on ball. You got to see man. You have to communicate. You have to be conditioned because they're going to be cutting and moving. They're going to challenge your defense to be on point. Any breakdowns, they'll exploit.
Fletcher missed it. Rebound, Ryan. Size advantage for Atkinson down low. Instead, Leschewski. He was shooting 49% from 3 in conference. Good matchup there. Cormac Ryan, Notre Dame's best on-ball defender against RayQuan Evans. Fletcher. Wesley doesn't bite on the shot fake, contested jumper. And what a defensive sequence there, Jordan, by Notre Dame.
And that fuels his team, because then you can get out and chase stuff like that. This is a Florida State team that is vulnerable defensively. They give up one, they're lackluster getting back. Paul Atkinson, the big fella, a rim run. Willing passers on this Irish squad, they will find you. This is a Notre Dame team that has been fueled by their defensive effort the second half of the season, and it's been night and day in terms of results for the Irish.
College basketball Thursday, that's tomorrow, 7 Eastern. Michigan State off that win against Purdue will go to Columbus to take on the 23rd ranked Buckeyes. To your point, Jordan, when we talked to Ryan Humphrey earlier today, he said this team is bought into defense. He told us they've always been cocky offensively. Now they're cocky defensively, and it's contagious. You have Leschewski, who knocks down the 3. He's the communicator on the back line. Prentice Hub gives you great ball pressure. Blake Wesley has really come along defensively, and Cormac Ryan, one of the top perimeter defenders in the ACC.
Well, they're so old, so there's a level of comfort because these guys have played together for a long time, and the guys that they've inserted in, Blake Wesley is now a sophomore, and Blake Wesley was ahead of his growth and development because he's an unusual player. He's a star. Paul Atkinson had been everything to the Ivy League and to that Yale squad, so now you've got a group that's put it all together that feels fully comfortable with each other and have logged a lot of minutes at this point where it's a well-oiled machine.
Anthony Polite just stopped a 7-0 Notre Dame run, and the rebound by Butler. Polite left it short again, playing with that foam covering on his non-shooting hand. He's coming back from a fractured right wrist that required surgery. Hadn't played since February 2nd. Tied at 27, 7:12 to go. And Notre Dame certainly have a team capable of getting to the second weekend, and who knows, maybe even beyond in the NCAA tournament. Since the start of the new year, Notre Dame has 14 high major wins. Only 2 teams have more. Arizona and Duke, who both won last night, have 15.
And in that time, Paul Atkinson has become more comfortable. Blake Wesley has recognized his star power. Cormac Ryan is, at a point in that time, become a starter and elevated the edge of this group. But defensively, they have grown. And Dane Goodwin has been who he is all season long. Prentice got rid of some of that stuff that he was struggling with in the early part of the season. And Nate Laszewski has been consistent throughout the season, playing at a high level. This group has an identity. Those are the teams you look at in March.
Hub ran into the trees. Here's Worley, the 6'6" point guard, over to Polite. Again, first game back for Anthony Polite, who missed the last 7. Atkinson, great position, missed the bunny. Prieto corrals the rebound.
That's pretty good company for Notre Dame on that list.
And still unranked. Still unranked.
Yeah.
Somehow still not top 25 worthy. You tell me how.
I think you know what the masses would respond with is the strength of the ACC this year, but I don't know if that's still a worthy argument. I think this team is a top 25 caliber squad that a lot of people don't want to see in the tournament.
Harrison, Prieto, they call him the weatherman, meteorology major at one of the finest meteorology schools in the country. There's Atkinson, tied at 29.
But Cormac Ryan driving that basketball, being aggressive, begets an offensive rebounding opportunity because he attracts 2 defenders, which leaves a vulnerability, which allows for an offensive rebounding opportunity that Atkinson embraces and executes.
Here comes Wesley, who's got 9. Goodwin blocked by Butler. Four blocks already for Florida State. Out of bounds to the Seminoles.
Dane Goodwin was not expecting this length. Tried to play off 2 there, avoid the charge, and Butler came right to it. And he just spiked that thing like a volleyball.
Remember, he had the game-winning blocked shot in that overtime win against Duke. That was back when Florida State was rolling. A team that started 6-2 and was in first place in the ACC, and then an avalanche of injuries, which has really just driven this season totally off track.
But this is a Florida State team in this first half that has done a magnificent job of taking the Irish away from the 3-point line and not allowing the Irish to just
catch a ball. Blake Wesley.
What was I saying? What was I even talking about, Anish?
It doesn't
what just
matter.
happened? What just
Blake
happened?
Wesley caught a body.
Oh, this guy, he gives you something every game that just wows you. I literally lost my train of thought. I didn't know what I was talking about. Oh.
Long 2, Evans. Wesley tips it. And the putback, Fletcher with emphasis.
Florida State's been active. That's what's kept them in the game. They played with an energy not of a squad that has a losing record in conference and has been dealt the hand they have. This is a group that believes, that buys into their coach, and continues to compete.
Laszewski way off. Goodwin fighting through and gets it over Prieto. Worley at 6'6", the point guard of the future. Yeah, Florida State has a type. Evans is fouled.
Get your hands up.
Blake Wesley, a super talent An extra step on a young man's ladder. Watch out below. Disrespectful. It is Ash Wednesday, you know, Anish. Blake Wesley, without a doubt, leaving his mark. Da-da-da, da-da-da.
Take the west side, take on the east. I'ma put him in the cage, never let out the
Try to figure this out. The dude builds up literally everybody. Every time he's in studio, he takes a shot at me. I just got to sit here and take it because he knows he's miles and miles away from harm's way. I'm going to see you in the streets one day, Farney, and that is a threat on national television.
He's got a Vince Vaughn Speaker City vibe to him, and I mean that in a good way, Sean.
He just needs the big clock. He's a wannabe, a fair-skinned Flavor Flav, if you will, with not nearly the popularity.
All right, 2nd and 9. Let's get back to the game. Tied at 33. Prentice Hub from the corner. And there's John Butler having himself a first half, 11 points, 3 rebounds, a couple of blocked shots. And we're going to get a foul. That's going to be 2 on Hub.
You got to give credit to this Florida State squad. We came in and we said, can they limit the ability for Notre Dame to knock down threes? Can they play with activity? Can they guard? Can they convert shots when they present themselves? All those things have happened. That's why we're all knotted up here in the first 18 minutes of the game. Couldn't have gone any better for a Florida State squad for the position they're in right now.
Now they'll get Ngom instead on the moving screen. Wesley down the lane. Now that one off target. Rebound Wilkes. Fletcher slipped. And a travel.
Just, yeah, you can't really put that on anybody but the floor. Some condensation right there. Fletcher wasn't out of control, relatively composed. That's just one of those unfortunate situations.
We'll step aside, 2:22 to go, first half. Coming off a home win against Auburn over the weekend, Tennessee hasn't lost at home in more than a year. Texas meeting Kansas. Longhorns fell the other night against Baylor. Jayhawks ranked 6th in the country. That comes your way at 4. And you may have heard about this one, Carolina Duke. Some guy with a really hard last name to spell is coaching his final home game at Cameron Indoor.
Do they know how to spell it now, though? I would say they know how to pronounce it. They know how to shorten it. But do they know how to spell it?
They know how to pronounce it. They know how to shorten it. I don't know if anybody knows how to spell it. I always forget where the Z and the Y go, and then there's a W in there. Ngom off the window.
Those are the sequences that you'd love to see more from Ngom. A guy who's, look, he's a redshirt senior at this point, but that is the type of play with his size and length, if he can embrace being physical and in traffic, allowing his size to be superior. Just be tall, but embrace some contact. In that moment, he did.
Tanor Ngom from Senegal. Played 3 seasons at Ryerson University in Canada. Speaks 5 languages, which I would imagine helps if you're trying to avoid, let's say, a technical foul.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Trey Wirtz all alone, NBA range.
Wirtz was surprised that both defenders just vanished from him, and he was allowed to sit there, compose, and then deliver. Defense, just a miscue right there, running away from the basketball.
Wilkes from league range. A long rebound to Hub. Leszewski open, feet set, it's good.
Florida State really needs one here. They've been in control of this first half, kind of coming apart at the seams here in the final 90 seconds. Putting one in the basket here will be big for FSU with confidence going into the half.
The 3-point shot has disappeared. They started 5 of 5 0 for 7 since. Long three, and there's one.
Big time.
RayQuan Evans,
who needs to be their guy, stops the bleeding, keeps this thing to 1 or 2 possessions at the break. That's big. Notre Dame right here, it should be an Atkinson touch. Really should challenge Ngom.
instead Legacies all alone. It's good. 9 points in the first half off the bench for Nate Legacies. Blake Wesley had 11, including 1 you'll see on SportsCenter a few times tonight. Notre Dame looking for a 15th conference win, looking to clinch that 2 seed in the ACC tournament. To the studio.
All right, let's do it. Welcome to the E-Trade Halftime Report alongside Sean Farnham. I'm Max McGee. Let's take a look at this SEC action. Texas A&M taking on number 25 Alabama. Charles Bediako cuts and dunks from the inbound pass. Alabama up 2. A&M down 2-0. Tyrese Radford, Texas A&M up 1. Alabama trailing 5-4. How about a 3 from Jaden Shackelford? Alabama up 7-5. A&M fighting back. Radford spins, gets 2. Texas A&M up 3. Rolling Tide. Shackelford, another corner 3. Alabama taking a 3-point lead right now. Welcome in. E-Trade Halftime Report. Max McGee, Sean Farnham. Talking about a couple teams on the bubble right now. Indiana, Rutgers as well. Tournament vibes in the Hoosier State.
Yeah, you know what? You look at that Alabama game, a couple things that stood up first for me was that the fact that they turned over the ball early, that allowed A&M to get some confidence in the game. They did a better job managing it. The 3-point shot has made a huge difference in that game. But yeah, you talk about Rutgers. Look at Rutgers last 4 in. Indiana last 4 in, which means essentially tonight's game has that NCAA feel to it. And that's when you look for the best player on the court to show up and show out. And for Coach Mike Woodson, that's Trace Jackson Davis. And he's been the guy in the first half that has really asserted himself in this game. You see him with the tip and the steal here. He's got 15 and 7 so far in the first half, Max.
All right, so later, 9 minutes left in the first half. Rutgers down 4, missed layup, rebound. Cliff Omorie. That's high percentage, making it look easy. Rutgers still down 18-16. Let's go 5 minutes left in the first half. Indiana up 3. Xavier Johnson finally getting himself into a rhythm after 24 points in the last game with that 3-pointer. Indiana up 7, and that's not it, everybody. We have Sean Farnham talking to Jay Will in the Players Lounge. You're going to get back after this.
This halftime report.
We're very telling as Notre Dame banged down 3 threes, kind of opened it up a little bit. Did momentum shift to the Irish here in the second half? We'll see.
Florida State just 1 of its last 8 from 3 after the hot start. The Irish with the ball to begin the second half. Prentice Hub, little show and tell. Atkinson may have been open. Ryan, the drive and kick. Great ball movement. It's Hub, the open 3. Atkinson, little volleyball. Can't get it to go.
Look, I don't understand if you're Cormac Ryan guarding Anthony Polite. It seems very apparent. Make him go right. He's got a cast on his right side. The young man's only going to go one way, and it's to his strong hand left side.
Anthony Polite from the outside. Again, first game back in a month. He missed the last 7. Statistically, as we get a timeout, Polite is Florida State's leading scorer entering this game amongst its available players, and he averages less than 10 a game. A minute into the second half, we get a timeout by Notre Dame. We'll take one too.
You're never responsible for unauthorized purchases on your Discover card.
New Spicy Lovers Pizza from Pizza Hut. Hurts so good. With this spicy marinara sauce and sliced red chilies, it's like a roundhouse kick to the taste buds. Now don't be bashful with the fiery flakes. The new Spicy Lovers Pizza. Get it before it's gone. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Caroline, wait.
Mitch?
Look, I know I messed up, but I told Diane it's over. Can we have some space? Oh, yeah, of course.
Switch to Progressive and you can save hundreds. You know, like the sign says.
Mitch, you live in a van.
I'm a free spirit.
With my hectic life, you'd think retirement would be the last thing on my mind. Thankfully, Voya provides comprehensive solutions and shows me how to get the most out of my workplace benefits. Voya helps me feel like I got it all under control.
Voya. Well planned, well invested, well protected.
I need 2 bacon on bacon quarter-pound double cheeseburgers. Coming right up. Can someone grab more bacon?
We're gonna need more of that tangy smoke sauce.
Order up.
Sonic bacon on bacon quarter-pound double cheeseburger.
Your mission, stand up to moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis and take it on with Rinvoq. Rinvoq, a once-daily pill, can dramatically improve symptoms. Rinvoq helps tame pain, stiffness, swelling, and for some, Rinvoq can even significantly reduce RA fatigue. That's Rinvoq relief. With RA, your overactive immune system attacks your joints. Rinvoq regulates it to help stop the attack.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB, serious infections and blood clots, some fatal, cancers, including lymphoma and skin cancer, death, heart attack, stroke, and tears in the stomach or intestines occurred. People 50 and older with at least one heart disease risk factor have higher risks. Don't take if allergic to Rinvoq, as serious reactions can occur. Tell your doctor if you are or may become pregnant.
Talk to your rheumatologist about Rinvoq relief. Rinvoq, make it your mission. Learn how AbbVie could help you save on Rinvoq.
Thanks a lot for all the support. First of all, it's KRZYZEWSKI.
Every day I had an opportunity to be with the best.
He's been as good as anybody who's ever coached this game.
Oh, a nice little Saturday lineup. Blackhawks, Flyers, Carolina, Duke. Coach K's last game at Cameron Indoor. Steph and Clay against LeBron, Warriors, Lakers, UFC 272. We certainly do not have time for Home Depot or Bed Bath & Beyond.
I don't know. I don't know if we're going to have enough time.
But we don't. Here's Ryan down the lane, left hand, good.
Cormac Ryan on that drive did a superb job of keeping the defender on the hip. And when he went to ultimately elevate, went one more time into the body to create the space so he had a clear path to lay it in over Wilkes.
What's the benefit of keeping the defender on your hip?
Because then you don't allow them an angle or advantage to deflect it. The length of Florida State is bothersome, but if you play the proper angles, it erases any advantage from the defense.
Here comes Polite, the turnaround. Offensive rebound, Butler had it taken away. Hub, Ryan. Butler 3 threes in the first half. That one not close. Irish give it up. Evans picked up by Goodwin. And a foul on Wesley, his second.
Now that's a foul that Coach Bray will never be upset with. That is effort. That is Blake Wesley trying to get up into the defense, apply pressure, maybe ultimately generate a turnover. That's trying to inject life into what's been a lackluster defensive performance from the Irish. So a little overzealous, sure, but because of the effort, Coach will have no issue with that one.
Here is Worley, another freshman. Now Evans the long 3. Prieto fighting for the rebound. It's Atkinson who's really upped his production on the glass over the last month. Wesley's got the matchup here. Blows by Prieto. Worley bothered it. Evans driving on Wirtz. Plenty of time to shoot. Worley draws the double. Prieto the line drive three, the weatherman.
And you could see the trepidation from Atkinson defensively, tiptoeing out. Prieto's like, oh, are you going to come at me? And then if not, Harrison just says, all right, you don't want to come dance. Go ahead and knock down his triple.
A one-point game. Wesley, tornadoes inside, and past Butler.
This feels like a game Wesley took the most shots of his young career at Notre Dame versus Georgia Tech on January 9th. He took 21 shots. I think he surpasses that tonight because the Irish may need that kind of effort from him offensively. That kind of
Jordan, the way he's played, yeah, he's earned that now.
Absolutely.
And a three by Wilkes, who had 5 threes against the Irish in this building 2 seasons ago.
Florida State is staying in this game with a measured level of success defensively, but what they're doing from the three-point line, they're 9 of 18 for 3.
Butler the other way. Over Leszewski, taps it in. He's one off a career high. Florida State on top.
It's a freshman over a senior. Freshman looked like the man in that sequence.
Here comes Wesley, the drop off for Atkinson, blocked. 7 blocks by the Noles. Butler catch and release. That's good. A career high 16 for John Butler.
Got to get a timeout for the Irish. They're going to play through this.
Wesley, the answer not there.
Thought that was a missed opportunity for the Irish to compose, collect, take this crowd, deflate them a little bit. They get a bucket here. Who's ever in the building is going to lose it.
Nearly knocked away. Evans. I like how you said that. Whoever is in the building.
Oh, look, this is not a usual circumstance and position Florida State finds himself in this time of the season. Usually it's contending for a high seed in the tournament or a regular season championship, but because of the injuries, they're for 5 this year.
Prentice Hub makes it a 3-point game. He's got 7.
But if anything, Anish, what this illustrates, Coach Bray electing not to take a timeout, the understanding he's got an old group who will figure it out in game. And he trusts them to do that. Younger squads, that's most certainly a timeout, stop the bleeding, regain your composure. But Bray doesn't have need to do that.
Wesley to the rim and 1. A human highlight reel tonight.
Your television did not skip. That was Blake Wesley suspended in the air to alter his delivery to achieve the and 1 opportunity. Guy's a magician. Florida State is not going quietly, not in this one. 3-point shot has been kind to the Noles. Make that 10 of 20 from a 3-point line. I'm no math major, but that is 50%. John Butler, the 7-footer, feeling it as well. We got a good one here in Talbot. Back and forth between Notre Dame and Florida State. Florida State hurt them from 3. Notre Dame has hurt Florida State with Blake Wesley, and that quick first step. You can't prepare for it. Then you find yourself in the danger zone when he takes flight, and you're in the midst of being embarrassed. Luckily in that one, they elected to foul to complete him from introducing himself, reintroducing it to the rim, but he's able to stop in midair, audible, keep his eye on the goal through contact like all elite finishers, and he finds himself with an and 1 opportunity. Youth dominating tonight in Tallahassee, Anish.
Blake Wesley for the Irish and John Butler, a career-high 16 for Florida State. We were hoping to see Matthew Cleveland, who had 20 against Virginia, hit the game winner, that miracle shot right at the buzzer. He's got a virus tonight, so he's out. It's not COVID-related.
And also for those who are enjoying the close contest that are fans of Florida State, keep this stat in mind. Florida State is 5-0 in games decided by 1 point in the ACC this year. So they are capable and confident in the close ones.
And a chance for a 3-point play for Ngom. And Jordan, should this be decided beyond regulation. Florida State has also won 13 straight in overtime, longest streak in the country, as my producer Todd Jones is about to scream in my ear.
But this speaks to an extension of coaching, because groups naturally get tight, get a little chaotic and frenzied when it comes to winning time, when every possession's amplified and a game is on the line. And if you've got cool customers on the floor, typically your coach is going to have that same vibe. There is no cooler coach in the conference, in the country, no cooler dude in the land, globally, than Coach Leonard Hamilton. If you get a chance to talk to him, you see him at a restaurant, don't play it cool, bother him. You'll walk away feeling like an enlightened man, because that guy has more wisdom that he's forgotten that the everyday man could ever gain.
A man
love talking to Coach Hamilton. Oh, man.
He's got his own gospel music label.
Guy's funny, charismatic. The stories and what he's lived, a lesser human could not get through, and not only get through, but excel, as Dane Goodwin takes it to the cup there and gets this Irish team back within striking distance.
Yeah, the most famous one, he was working at Dow Chemical after he didn't get the UT Martin job. Decided he was going to leave the profession, and then Joe B. Hall, then the head coach at Kentucky, convinced him to get back into coaching, to be an assistant at Kentucky. 5 years after Kentucky integrated, Leonard Hamilton was on the staff with Joe B. Hall, and then 12 seasons at Kentucky. Got the head coaching job at Oklahoma State, Miami, a stint with the Wizards, and a successful stint here with Florida State. Fletcher, and there's a three. 11 triples for Florida State, which came into the game shooting just 31% from three in conference.
It's a bad shot because, look, Prentice has been capable of making that, but you've got nobody down there to even attempt an offensive rebound. And I know that's not the Irish's game, but you've got no one to even compete down there. And it's just get it and go for Florida State. It allows your defense no rest. They're clearly challenged. Fatigue playing a role. The size, length, and athleticism of Florida State has been befuddling to the Irish this evening.
Pull up not there by Evans. Leonard Hamilton told us when all the injuries happened, they could have changed the DNA of the team, played slower, but he said that's not who we are. That's not what we're building toward. And they continue to play fast and be aggressive and go for steals, even with this depleted roster. And now you're seeing it over the last 4 games or so. Yeah, we're 2-2, but guys are accustomed to playing more minutes.
I'll tell you what, Ngom is feeling very confident with how he's being able to move here. I mean, he's setting physical screens. He's banging down low. He's playing with his back to the basket. This group feels like they are the more physical bunch, and it's propelled them to a 7-point lead on their home floor.
The magic is calling you to stay at a Disney Resort hotel, where you're surrounded by the world's most...
ACC play this year, a dozen back in January against Syracuse.
Coming into this one, you felt like the three-point line was going to be critical. Could Florida State knock down threes if they had the opportunity? Although you know Notre Dame is one of the best in the conference at defending the three. But if Florida State got looks, could they hit them? Well, 11-22 is very Notre Dame-esque in terms of shooting the three, but it's the Noles. Meanwhile, on the other side, Florida State has gotten burned by elite three-point shooting teams. And if they let a team shoot and make double-figure threes or more, typically it's a recipe for failure for Florida State. Well, they've limited the best three-point shooting team, or one of them in the conference, to 5 of 14 shooting beyond the arc. Winning the three-point line, both defensively and offensively, has been a massive part of this story to Florida State's success.
Yeah, again, a team that has just been ravaged by injuries, still showing fight against a Notre Dame team that is second in the ACC at 14-4. The Irish, with a win today, would set a school record for most wins in conference play. They won 14 twice in the Big East, once in the ACC. They didn't join a conference till the 95-96 season.
Blake Wesley has been the only. Blake Wesley has been the only confident downhill guard for the Irish here. He's the only guy who's caught it. Doesn't matter if there's a bigger defender on him. He allows his quick first step to get by him. Then he plays that contact and angle to get off the shot, not worrying about the length. Because of that, Paul Atkinson's able to step in and grab an offensive rebound. The Irish can't fear the length. If they drive it, usually it's a driving kick. It might be a miss. It allows a putback opportunity. But you can't be afraid of what's inside just because that length is there.
Notre Dame 2 of 4 from the line. Two-possession game. Wilkes. Rebound Hub. Hub. Lets it go. Doesn't get it. Worley the board.
Hub's taking some bad shots, and it's messing up the rhythm of an Irish team that's trying to regain some consistency. He's taking a couple dribbles, not creating any space, has a defender right in front of him, and just hoists. And he's done it 3 times now, and it's not helping.
Freshman mistake here.
Yeah, meanwhile on the other side, Cormac Ryan doing what he can to generate some life with this team, offering his body up to the basketball gods. Give his squad a chance.
Worley's second to foul. Nice to have a guy like John Butler at 7'1" who can pressure the ball in the backcourt.
He's unique, a unicorn.
Atkinson down low. And there is Woods. Atkinson, the putback.
I talked about the productivity of Atkinson offensively. A lot of times is keyed by his effort on the backboard. He's chasing a double-double here tonight. He has been active, most especially on that offensive side of things in terms of second chance opportunity.
4 double-doubles in the month of February. Ryan all over Butler. Worley navigating past Atkinson, not there. Here comes Wesley, afterburners. And the bucket good. 17 for the freshman.
Wilkes was somewhat in position defensively, and yet still the speed of Wesley surpassed the guy without the basketball. The one with it, quicker to the cup. Wesley is a marvel to watch in the open floor. Most confident man on the floor. Can't even drink legally yet.
Can a company help you live a better life? We're talking about the one in your neighborhood, with almost 2 million people helping you live a little better every day. We see your hopes and dreams. It's why we show up day after day to keep you healthy, to help you put a better meal on the table. So, can a company help you live a better life? We're working on it every day.
He has hesitation. Paul Atkinson 2 rebounds away from his 7th double-double of the season. Former Ivy League Player of the Year at Yale.
5 offensive rebounds for Paul Atkinson. And again, it speaks to Wirtz confidently driving that basketball. Then you a swarm of teal defenders. Feels weird to say at Florida State, but teal defenders, 3 of them attack Wirtz. Atkinson steps in and punctuates the sentence.
Seminoles wearing the N7 Nike jerseys that honor the school's Native American heritage. Fletcher backing down Ryan, good defense.
I thought there was a lot of contact there. I thought Fletcher deserved
Big East
the whistle.
basketball. Big East basketball.
It caved the arms, though. I mean, you got to play it to the letter of the wall, right? Terrible entry. Terrible.
Denied. Evans and Butler both on the bench. Who's the go-to guy? Worley lets it go. Fletcher's played the best basketball of his career of late. Wilkes, it doesn't go. Knocked out of bounds by Fletcher.
And this is a vulnerability of the Irish. Look, they locate their box outs to a degree, but when you have a measured level of athleticism across the board, 50-50s feel like they're tilted more in the favor of a Florida State squad. Then it becomes, it's more like a 65-35 type of vibe because the athleticism tilts in favor of Florida State. Look at the blocks, 7 blocks for Florida State, none from Notre Dame. Look at some of these plays. Now, Blake Wesley provides that athleticism for Notre Dame, but across the board, that's advantage Florida State.
And they'll get a foul on Florida State and Fletcher.
Take a look.
A little trip.
It's definitely a trip.
Been a pretty close game throughout. Notre Dame's largest lead 5, Florida State 8. Ryan's 3 ricochets to Wilkes.
Ryan
have missed their last 7.
Cormac Ryan called for it, stepped into it, felt good about what they were doing there, just couldn't execute and convert.
Here's Evans. Shot clock at 7. 15-footer not there. And we're going to get a push. Seminoles nursing a 2-point lead, looking to build off that Saturday win at JPJ.
A lot of people assume coaches are looking.
12 points, 9 rebounds.
Yeah, Alabama right now, 36 of their 56 points they've given up have been in the paint. It has been tremendous to watch A&M attack them inside, especially off of turnovers.
J.D. Notte and the Arkansas Razorbacks, who won 14 of 15. LSU Tigers trying to impress back out to the Fellas in Tallahassee.
All right, thank you. Arkansas has won 4 straight as well, including wins against Tennessee and Kentucky. I don't know if we get a shirtless Eric Musselman, though, if Arkansas wins tonight.
I don't know, but if the guy is, I believe, 57 years old, if at 57 years old, you look like that with your shirt off, please, I wouldn't own any T-shirts. Go ahead, coach.
Ngom, great position down low, using the size advantage. 4-point lead for Florida State. That ends a scoring drought of almost 5 minutes. And Notre Dame, again, we're seeing a lot of rushed shots, a lot of early offense before the Irish have their typical ball movement tonight.
And I'd look back down low to Ngom. That size clearly bothersome for the Irish interior defense. Keep trying to exploit it. Here we go.
He's backing down Atkinson, and he traveled this time.
That's all right. If I'm a guard for Florida State, I'm grabbing my guy Ngom, and I'm saying, that's okay, big fella. We're going to keep feeding you. You've earned our trust. We like that you're confident in attacking.
Oh, there it is.
Got a shirtless Musselman randomly on the screen now. Cool.
After the win against #1 Auburn at Bud Walton, stolen away. And the finish by Evans. Wesley downhill has been Notre Dame's best option. Here he comes on the baseline. You try to go back to Ngom?
I would.
Notre Dame will give him that. He left it short.
That is absolutely the last thing you want Ngom to do in that situation.
Goodwin. He's been quiet today. Just 6 points. 3 of 10 from the field. Second leading scorer for the Irish. Wilkes. That doesn't go. Notre Dame still without a 3 in the second half. 0 for 9. It's one of the best shooting teams in the ACC. Hub hesitation. Atkinson is fouled on the putback.
Atkinson continues to do his work and ultimately damage, grabbing these offensive rebounds when the Notre Dame drivers can't seem to convert. But again, going back to the drives, they are still productive even though the Irish don't complete them, because it sucks in a committed defense and allows an aggressive Atkinson to hunt putback opportunity.
7 double-doubles now for Atkinson. Don't miss Monday, the final 2 episodes of the tournament, a history of ACC men's basketball on ACC Network. Episode 9 brings us from 1998 to 2008, followed by the finale, 2009 through 2020. All right, Jordan Cornette, Notre Dame alum. There's a little shamrock in that final episode of the tournament.
Yeah, some 2015 love in there when the Irish chipped up Pat Connaughton, Jaron Grant, the fellas. A magical year, a magical group that was. And if you ask me, it's high time that Pat Connaughton and Jaron Grant collectively have their uniforms put up in the rafters at Notre Dame, because no two guys have meant more to Notre Dame basketball than those two. And that might sound crazy to say. We know the talents of an Austin Carr and Adrian Dantley. You're looking at 2 back-to-back Elite Eights with this group. These guys were special.
Here's Polite, first game back after missing a month with a fractured right wrist. That's his non-shooting hand, 5 to shoot. Evans. Wesley steals it away, behind the back. Here he comes. Blake Wesley in transition. He's got 21.
I'll tell you, he sticks around. Who knows where his jersey ends up?
He sticks around. You get J.J. Starling to South Bend. Boy, you could really dream next year. Nice move by Fletcher.
Ivy League helps Coach Bray out a little bit. Atkinson gets another year of eligibility. You're looking at maybe a top 10 Irish team preseason.
Atkinson looking for Ryan, intercepted. Polite driving on Wesley. And he draws the foul. 3 fouls on Wesley, who has done it offensively. 21 points, 6 rebounds for the freshman from South Bend.
Here we go. Offense translated to some defense. Defense translated to some offense. You reach, I teach. The lay. Blake Wesley.
You're probably wondering, what makes these chips taste so good? Here's a hint.
In Bloomington.
All right, Tari Eason, that's a good-looking prospect right there for the Tigers. 16.5 points per game. Back to the fellas in Tallahassee.
Anthony Polite at the free throw line. As you look at LSU's tournament resume, 5 quad 1 wins. Less than 4 minutes to go in regulation. The Seminoles looking to make it a 5-point lead, and they do. And if you're the Irish, now we have seen the evolution, the growth of Blake Wesley. He's now at the point in the season. Down the stretch, he's the alpha. And he knows it.
He's not going to wait. Don't love the shot there because he's 0-2 from 3. And he's had success getting downhill. That is settlement in its purest form, of the highest order. Drive the basketball, make them guard you. Newsflash, they cannot, Blake Wesley.
Evans D'd up by Ryan. Prieto setting the screen. Now the mismatch on Atkinson. 5 to shoot. Here's Butler. Over Ryan, and he is fouled. 2 shots for the freshman, who's only 7 of 17 from the line.
And that's just, these are letdowns mentally from Notre Dame. Offensively, Blake Wesley takes a bad shot. John Butler, and you bail him out by invading his space, and Cormac Ryan puts his hands up in frustration. Shouldn't be with the whistle. It should be with your decision-making to violate. It's the proper call. It's the wrong defensive read from Cormac Ryan, who always leads with playing with an edge. I respected it, hurt him there.
Yeah. Thursday, 7 Eastern on ESPN, Michigan State goes to Columbus to take on Ohio State. Spartans knocked off Purdue in East Lansing over the weekend. Butler misses both. So now 7 of 19 from the line this season. Hub able to draw the foul. He's made some big shots for Notre Dame this year and throughout his career.
And to go back and give credit to what we've seen defensively from Florida State, the 7 blocks in this game, the 7 steals in this game, speaking of that length, holding Notre Dame to 43% shooting, 3 percentage points down from what Notre Dame does from the field. 26% from 3. Notre Dame typically shoots 39% there. Notre Dame typically makes 9 threes, almost 10 a game. They've only made 5 here. But what's most telling to me about how disjointed Notre Dame is offensively here, Anish, this is a team in Notre Dame that has 9 assists and 8 turnovers.
Yeah.
They are not playing with any sort of rhythm. It's been completely disrupted by Florida State. That length, that athleticism, that effort.
Normally, you can set Mike Bray's offense to music. Usually it's Vivaldi or Mozart, something classical with rhythm, right? Multiple instruments. At times tonight, it's been a 3rd grader playing a recorder for the first time.
Love where that mind goes sometimes.
Hey, listen, it's an outlier, a total outlier.
Let me tell you, Carolina Panthers got a good one. They got a lot to figure out with their roster, but my man being Hyde as their play-by-play guy, you get a glimpse into why.
Shot clock violation, 69-65. Florida State still on top. Irish 0 for 10 from 3. Oh, God, you guys are doing
hold on.
this.
You know I had to get him. You know, you look that clean in a suit. It's a classic man. Look at him. He's so happy. I got another bag, y'all. I'm getting all the bags. Look at me. I mean, you look great, man. Congratulations. Get on Twitter. You want to see what kind of guy my teammate Anish Shroff is? Look at the love he's got from everybody on Twitter congratulating him. Deservedly so. Congratulations.
All right, let's change the topic. We got a game, 69-65. That was a sneak attack, Jordan. I'll remember that.
I had to do it, man. Had to. TJ, good execution, our producer, all over it.
Evans took a bump from Goodwin. Shot clock winding down, didn't hit anything. And that is another shot clock violation. Florida State keeps this door ajar for a comeback. Butler back in. Hub. Oh, he got Butler turned around. The Irish within 2.
But that's the creativity you have to try and achieve when you've got these long defenders. They're going to be hungry to block shots. They blocked 7 of them. They're going to be eager to get in the air. Prentice Hub understood that, stopped on a dime, showed ball. Defense leaves for the air. The world is number 3, so lucky lefty converts.
69-67, Florida State by 2. Timeout Leonard Hamilton. We've said it many times. It's been said on many Florida State broadcasts. The injuries have taken a toll on this team. Caleb Mills, Malik Osborne, Naheem McLeod. Tonight, Anthony Polite comes back, but Matthew Cleveland, the hero of the Virginia win, out with a virus. So yes, Florida State is battling. They're figuring out a way. What's different about Notre Dame this year? You're seeing it tonight, and I know it's a depleted Florida State team, but it's a night where the Irish have not shot it that well, 43% from the field. They've had success inside, just 5 of 19 from 3. In years past, it would be hard to win a game when you shoot like that from the outside for Notre Dame. They have found ways to win this year, many times, when the shots have not fallen, and it speaks to how far they've come defensively.
No question, Anish, but it also speaks to maturity. And it's something that we spoke with Coach Hamilton about his squad. He said one of the biggest challenges is, of course, the injuries, but now I'm dealing with younger guys that haven't been battle-tested, that don't have the reps in some of these games. This is a Notre Dame group that understands, hey, when we have to audible and win in a different way, we should feel comfortable making that adjustment Because I played with you on the floor for a long time when I look to my right. When I look to my left, I played with you for a long time. When I look to my bench, hell, there's somebody on the bench that I played with for a long time. So this group is an extension of Coach Bray. The mantra at Notre Dame for so long, Anish, has been get old, stay old. And they are there. And in this 11th hour, they're chasing a tournament berth for a group of seniors that have never been.
A projected 9 seed, according to Joe Lunardi. A win today, Notre Dame would clinch the 2 seed in the ACC tournament. Butler backing down Goodwin. Off the window, no. The tip, too strong. Legacies lost it out of bounds. It belongs to Florida State.
Feels like 50-50s have gone all night long towards Florida State. And again, Butler, that's mouse in the house. And what I mean by mouse in the house is he's like, okay, I've got Dane Goodwin in isolation. I've got a solid 6-7 inches on this guy. I'm just going to pound him down and try and convert. And if that's going to be the matchup that they can create again, oh, Butler's checking out. I would have loved that opportunity for Butler.
But Jordan, in Butler's case, yeah, he's 7'1". He usually plays out on the perimeter.
True. But he looked comfortable backing Goodwin down there because he had such a clear view of the basket where that becomes a confident big posting up there.
Shot clock down to 8. Ryan all over Evans. Polite. Hits the 3. Welcome back, Anthony Polite. Florida State picking it up full court. Ryan accelerates. Atkinson on the drop-off and one.
What a response from Atkinson. But going back to it, are you kidding me? Anthony Polite had played in 7 games. Just happened to be out here playing. I believe his mom is on hand from Switzerland, staying a week for senior week. A guy who has no conditioning or rhythm because he hasn't been out there, bangs down a big-time 3. But Notre Dame, an old group, understands punch, absorb, counter punch. Atkinson converts, and we got a 1-possession game still. Buckle up.
And if you're Notre Dame, you don't have to foul. About a 10-second differential between game clock and shot clock. Both teams in the bonus. Both teams with 1 timeout. Worley, the freshman. There's Polite. Wesley poked it away. It comes to Evans. Shot clock at 5. Evans down the lane, contested. Left it short, tipped up, out of bounds to Florida State.
Florida State got away with one. Atkinson, that was a push-off. Atkinson wasn't able to corral that one because of the contact made. Florida State got away with one there, but Florida State has gotten some calls not go their way that they deserve whistles on. So it's checks and balances. Right here you're going to see, well, Legacies pushes off to begin with. So I love that there's no whistle called there. That's just letting guys play. Okay with no whistle. I'll backtrack on that one.
Now that is a reviewable play. It looks like they're going to the monitor.
See who.
And if the call stands, Jordan, all right, let's say the call stands and Florida State has it, and now you're Notre Dame, you have to foul.
Absolutely. No question you have to foul.
Jordan, tell the people the stat that you mentioned earlier. Florida State in 1-point games this season.
Yeah, first of all, it's clearly going to be out on Nate Legacies. This is going to be Florida State's basketball, but this is a Florida State team in ACC contests in 1-point games. All 5 games have gone Florida State's way. 5-0 in games decided by a point. And they've won 6 of those games, adding a Boston U win earlier this season in non-conference to give them 6 1-point wins this season. So cool, the sheep count Florida State when they sleep.
The 6 1-point wins, tops in the nation. They had one over the weekend. It looked like Virginia was on its way to a win. And then Prieto to Matthew Cleveland, the Hail Mary. And the 3 at the horn. It's going to be Florida State ball, so Notre Dame will have to foul here. If you're Florida State, you want to get the ball into the hands of RayQuan Evans, 85% free throw shooter. Worley will inbound. Legacies will guard the ball. Evans gets free. And Wesley fouls him. That's 4 on Wesley. It'll be a 1-and-1. First free throws of the night for RayQuan Evans. He's made 39 of his last 42 from the stripe.
You want a guy up there, you want it to be one of the guys who's one of your leaders. Redshirt senior, Coach Ham and the group's got faith in.
Mike Bray will make Evans think about it. RayQuan Evans, another one of these Florida State players who has battled an injury. Missed the Duke game with a knee injury. He's not 100%. He's played well tonight. 10 points, 7 rebounds, 5 helpers, only 1 turnover.
Another guy who's seen his usage go up. I mean, he was always going to play a big role for this Florida State team, no question, but he's seen his minutes and ultimately his productivity show career highs here at Florida State this season, almost playing about 25 minutes per game. He understands what his role is with this depleted roster, and it's to generate life, make things happen, and be a guy that can confidently lead. What bigger opportunity for RayQuan Evans than to stand here on the free throw line and put this game to bed for Florida State. What a fight from this group. How do you not love what Coach Hamilton does at Florida State and what these Florida State players have continued to do in the face of the worst luck, historically bad luck with injuries for this Florida State roster? This is a culture win if Florida State holds on. Culture win. It speaks to what Coach Hamilton's built.
It's 2 in a row. It's 2 culture wins in a row if they hold on.
Against a Notre Dame team that's a tournament team and a Virginia team fighting to make the tournament. This guy's without half of his roster. His top scorers. There's not one double-figure scorer in this game playing for Florida State. All sub-double-figure scorers in action tonight. And look at what Coach Hamilton's group's achieving. Big free throw here.
1-and-1. Evans gets it. And now a chance to make it a 2-possession game. And the senior from Billings, Montana, gives Florida State a 4-point lead. Those turquoise unis mean something to him. It honors Florida State's Native American heritage. Evans, half Native American from the Crow tribe. And now Notre Dame down 2 scores. Wesley flying down court, blocked by Butler. Florida State has it, and the Seminoles stun Notre Dame.
Florida State out here canceling Christmas on the ACC. Virginia, you can get it. Notre Dame, you can get it. Culture win. Said it was an opportunity for Florida State to establish and let people know what all of us have already known for a long time. What the culture is here, to come out compete like this with not much on the line, nothing on the line for Florida State, except belief and pride in program. And fitting, it's a John Butler block. What are they telling? 9 of those blocks tonight to end this game on a shot block. Effort, belief, buy-in. Starts from the top in the legend, a certain Hall of Famer in Coach Leonard Hamilton.
At this point, Sean, I mean, it's not an official category anymore, right, how you've done in your last 10 or your last 12 games, but certainly from an eye test standpoint, they're not showing up against anybody. And again, a normal situation, losing a tough road game in league, not a big deal. But when all you're doing is losing, I'd be concerned, and I'd be really concerned if I'm a Xavier fan at the possibility of playing a first 4 game at the Dayton Arena. And we know the Flyers fans don't like the Musketeers.